as my good man would call it, one of the founding fathers. Welcome to the show. So we're talking about JD Vance and hosting Charlie Kirk's podcast, The Vice President of the United States, hosting Charlie Kirk's podcast show. Still pretty surreal. Still weird to think that this happened no more than 5 days ago still. And, this channel, we've been talking about Kirk a lot and what he meant to, first off, politics. And he really led a youth movement. Trump won the youth vote primarily, I believe, because of Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a huge reason for it. I think we all are aware of that. And it's a good thing, in my opinion. But what we're going to see is definitely an increase in the movement. I saw an article that said like they had 32,000 requests to start Turning Point chapters in different areas. Like this is really, there's a lot of angry people right now. A lot of angry people, man. Because truth be told, he wasn't even a political figure. He was just somebody who enjoyed debating, and that's his big thing. Yeah, I don't think Charlie Kirk's a bad person. I really don't. He may have said things that you didn't like, but it doesn't make him a bad person for believing in certain things. You're a bad person if you do terrible things, not if you say terrible things. There have been plenty of people throughout history who have said terrible things but never have done terrible things because they understood the difference between words and actual actions. But if you just go to Charlie Kirk's, by the way, Luke Nuke, if you just go to Charlie Kirk's actual page, the Charlie Kirk show, you should be able to find it. It was streamed earlier today. I'm going to get a poll up here in just a second, but I also just want to say thank you to everybody who's joining in on the chat. We're going to be getting a couple things squared away. Sorry about all the delays. We go nuts, you see us rolling up. Yeah, we rolling up. Just as a quick reminder, super chats are answered first, primarily. I'm going to start a poll here in a second. Give me a few moments, folks. Sorry about all these delays. Trying to get a... All right, we got a poll up. We got the poll. Give me 1 second, folks. We're trying to adjust the poll accordingly and make it as readable as possible. There we go. All right, so we got 6 votes. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Also, JD Vance for president in 2028. So we got 38%. Ooh, 13 votes. Right, we'll wait until there's more votes to kind of start talking about the poll. But we'll wait on the poll for a bit. Give me one moment. It is wild to see how many people thought he was a bad person. Like, I don't think there's even that many. I think majority of them are bots and just terrible people on the internet. It's either, I think it's just, I don't even, I think it's just the loud people who live on the internet. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people who just their whole life is based on just staying online. And I think the internet's fantastic, but I don't think it's I don't think social media is good for us, and I think that we're seeing a desensitization of a lot of people, whether it's older people, whether it's younger people. I stay off social media because I do want to be able to retain my mind to some degree while I'm still here on this earth. So. I'm still a little, not just a little bit. I'm very haunted by that video of what happened to Charlie, the shooting. It was haunting. It was very haunting. It was disturbing more than anything. We're definitely living in a very desensitized time where people just are totally fine with terrible things happening. They're just numb to it. It's really disturbing, man. So we got 40 votes in. JD Vance for president in 2028. 40% of you, 41% of you say yes. 39% of you say no. 7% say unsure, and then 12% of you are saying Tim Walz 2028. I had to put the Tim Walz in there just because I thought it'd be funny. I want to see how many people tap on Tim Walz, but no, I think. Yeah. It's wild, man. There's a lot of people out there that are just freaking out. But 39% of you say yes, 41% of you say no. Kind of a split there. 8% of you are just, you're not sure. 13% of you, surprisingly, say Tim Walz 2028. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think united in our love of freedom, and, I think freedom matters for sure. We're definitely seeing a weird divide in America right now. Absolutely. To all the haters, if you want, to anybody who's hating, if you want me to read your stuff, gotta give me a super chat, man. Ross says Tim Walz is a ligma denier. I don't even know what that means. We got 61 votes in the poll. Make sure you guys vote in the poll, by the way. The more votes, the better. So I'm really hoping that we can get more votes in this poll. It's really fun to see where people are at mentally on this. Because I think with the assassination of Mr. Kirk, considering how important he's been in the world of politics, surprisingly, this helps the conservative movement, I think. Give me one moment. Charlie, the funny thing about Charlie is he wasn't a hater. I don't know where people get this idea that he was like some sort of hateful person. I just don't understand that. And it just bugs me. Some of the things that people are saying though about Charlie just bug me. Really does. So. But yeah, JD Vance for president in 2028. 43% of you say yes. Okay. Poll's looking a little better. We got 77 votes in total. Heck yeah. Jim Watson says Alan been on the bum tatty water. What the heck? What's the bum tatty water? But make sure you guys provide a super chat. The more you guys simp with super chats, the more your channel gets recognized, the more you get recognized, and you get some clout. If there's any clout chasers in the house, if you're a clout chaser, give a super chat, man. So, overall, what happened today was JD Vance hosted the Charlie Kirk show from his ceremonial office by the White House as a tribute to Kirk, who was assassinated last week during a UVU event. He called Kirk irreplaceable and said he'll honor him by being a better husband and father. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch enough of it to be like, whoa, this is pretty damn moving. And he's just wanting to be a better person overall. And I think we all can be better people, for sure. The mark that Charlie left, man, was a huge one. And I think we just kind of, for a bit, I think we took Charlie for granted for a little bit, is really what I feel. Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Jose. Let me take a look here, and I'll reply to it accordingly, of course. So Jose, I'm sorry if I say your last name wrong. Darte, Stephen. I'm trying to think. Stevie Duarte. Sorry if I say your last name wrong, man. But Jose, thank you for the $5 super chat. You're asking what happened to United We Stand as people. That is what Charlie Kirk was trying to do. Absolutely. People say he was divisive. I think he just spoke his truth, and he just saw a lot of stupidity going on college campuses. He saw a lot of indoctrination, like socialism and communist indoctrination. Charlie noticed the rot in the world and was sadly punished by a rotten to the core individual. R.I.P. Charlie. But yeah, I think the person who did this is a disgusting person who actually took the time to harm honestly, in my opinion, one of the kindest souls. Like, was he a little bit of an a-hole sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. If you're dealing with college kids, which I wouldn't, he has more bravery than I do. Because college kids, I think they're little psychos, if we're going to be honest. I think college kids are little psychos, and I just would not want to deal with them. So the fact that he took the time to deal with these little psychotic bastards is pretty impressive, if you ask me. But I think JD, I'm really glad he hosted Charlie's show. And yeah, 18-year-old kids, they're all indoctrinated into socialism and communism because of their foolish college professors. I think college professors are just basically annoying socialists that don't understand economics. I really do believe that. Charlie also inspired me in a lot of ways. After his death, I realized I'd been holding back a lot of my feelings. Afraid of being judged negatively or losing my job. Well, guess what? I don't have a job to lose. I do DoorDash at this point. So it's but anyway, I'm surprisingly I'm 40 years old. Shockingly. But we're gonna do this, man. I think we can keep Charlie's vision alive. I really believe that. What do you guys think, though? JD Vance for president, 2028? I see 11% of you voted for Tim Walz out of the 112 votes. That's pretty sad. 1 out of 10 trolls want to vote for Tim Walz. We go nuts, you see us rolling up. Yeah, we rolling up. If you don't like it, shut up, because we don't know what's up. We know what's up. But anyway, so overall, thank you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. Honestly, it does help the channel grow, so I greatly appreciate all subscriptions, all likes. More likes we get on this show, the better. So if you guys can give this particular stream a like, it really helps us out a lot. But really, we're looking for more subscribers. So if you guys feel like subscribing to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Back to the subject at hand, though. JD Vance does want to be a better father to his kids and his wife. Some of the coverage also notes that Vance accompanied Erica Kirk with Kirk's remains on Air Force Two, and that the show included appearances from administrative officials. Investigation status. Now, the suspect in custody is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Like I said, he's in custody. He's just a suspect. We can't obviously make any determinations at the moment. But the DNA on the rifle towel and screwdriver links him to the scene, per FBI Director Kash Patel. Motive is under investigation, and the suspect is not cooperating. Now, he is probably pleading the fifth, and you do have the right to plead the fifth. That is a very important thing. And let's see here. What else are we talking about? There we go. Give me 1 second, folks. There we go. And then another thing is, let's see. So there's also security scrutiny at the moment. So let's see. UVU venue set up, outdoor stage screening practices are under review. There's going to be a public memorial. Turning Point USA says a public service is going to be held on Sunday, September 21st. Without a doubt. So I guess a question that some people appear to be asking online, they're saying, is it appropriate for a sitting vice president to guest host a private media show from the White House campus? I mean, I guess the Hatch Act doesn't cover the president or VP, but it does cover staff. I don't know. I think the vice president technically can almost say whatever he wants. Legacy and movement, Vance credited Kirk with boosting his rise in the Trump-Vance ticket. He framed today's episode as stewardship of Kirk's cause. So, I mean, how does the movement carry on without its most prolific organizer? That's the biggest question. So, the movement obviously continues. I mean, we want to see a better America. We do not want bigger federal government. In fact, our whole goal is to avoid bigger federal government. That's the key. Let's see. But here's the thing, man. The U.S. Somebody is wondering if that's a Chatterbait alarm. I used to be a Chatterbait cam model back in the day. I'm not going to say what I did on there when I was younger, but made some money back in the day. I guess a question would be to you guys, here's a super chat question, or a question that people can put it in the form of a super chat. What's the most impactful part of Kirk's legacy? Once again, that would be, what's the most impactful part of Kirk's legacy? So, now I will say, if the haters want their hate read, then or if anybody wants by the way, if you want your comment read live on the show, drop a super chat. Super chats are read first on this show. So if you want notoriety, if you want to be seen and heard by a lot of people, because this stream's going to go on for a bit, and you're going to be seen and heard by quite a few people. It is funny seeing all the moral judgments that everybody's giving me in the chat. I'm not. Look, this is my show, and I talk about whoever and whatever I want. Right? I am talking about Mr. JD Vance hosting Charlie Kirk's show. That is a topic for the show. We've been talking about Charlie a lot. Look, it's a hot button topic. I want to cover it because it is relevant to the current news cycle. And also, I love Charlie. I still love Charlie Kirk. I think he's amazing. I love watching his short videos, his actual longer form videos. It's just the guy, in my opinion, was ahead of his time. If we're going to be honest. So, Charlie, you will be missed, man. You will be missed. Equinox says, cancel this guy. But hey, if you guys really, if you guys really think that what I'm doing is wrong, then it's honestly, it is my show. If you don't like my show, go turn away from it. I thought he preached some pretty good things, though. Natasha says, just remember the Dems are doing another blackout starting tomorrow, so tips for us dashers will be great again for at least a few days. So what are you talking about, a blackout? What do you mean Democrats are doing a blackout? Are you talking about that they're not coming into work? Because, well, they're already lazy, and if you vote Democrat, I mean, it goes hand in hand. Just kidding. Don't freak out at me. This is also a comedy show to some degree. We try to be a comedy show, but an economic blackout. Oh, well, they hate well, here's the thing. Most Democrats hate economics anyway, so it doesn't shock me that they would be trying that. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, like, I do enjoy doing DoorDash, though, because so Christopher says, dude, is that severe gyro? What are you talking about, brother? Gyno? Christopher, I have no idea what you're talking about, brother. We got 170 votes on this poll, though. This is really good. JD Vance for president in 2028 is the question. 42% of you say yes. Oh, 43% say yes. 40% say no. 9% are unsure. 8% say Tim Walz 2028. Interesting. These people want Tim Walz on their balls, I guess. They want the walls on the balls, baby. Everybody's falling in love with Tim Walz, man. Cuffs off, everybody cuffs off. You ride big wheels and we got trucks. You see us rolling up. Yeah, we rolling up. We showing up now. We go nuts. You see us rolling up. Yeah, we rolling up. I'm going to dish up some food here in a second. One moment. I also have a pizza. Hello. Do you guys want pizza? But yeah, no, overall, like, I think it is cool that JD Vance hosted the show. Ultra Fire says the Garza, hell yeah. Um, hell yeah. Woo woo. Heck yeah, man. Eating a little rice and chili. Good stuff, man. Now, if you guys want your hate-filled comments to be read, just let me know. Checking something real quick, guys. One moment. So we got 209 votes. Wow, 43% of you say yes, 39% say no. Come on, everybody, get the votes in. We need more votes on this. You see the poll? You got to ride the poll. You got to ride that poll. JD Vance, baby. I'm voting for Vance in 2028. I'll tell you that's what I'm doing. I'd rather have Vance in my pants than Walls on my balls. I'm just eating, man. Eating hearty. But yeah, it's really cool. I think there's been a lot of chapter openings, I guess, or chapter requests that were made. But yeah, it's surprising that it's been over 5 days since Charlie was killed. Um, Today's tribute episode, of course, on the Charlie Kirk show was hosted by our Vice President JD Vance. And like I said, DNA evidence does link suspects in the charges are pending. So this is huge, you guys. This is huge. The evidence is pointing towards the the person in custody. I'm not gonna, obviously there still has to be a trial, but we will say the suspect in custody. I'm kind of curious about this whole blackout thing that you guys keep talking about. So you guys are saying that there's some sort of Democrat blackout or something? I want to see the ridiculousness of this because the Democrats, I swear to God, they're merchants in ridiculous. The left is merchants in ridiculous, I'll tell you. Democrat blackout. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on this, you guys. What are you guys talking about? There's like some sort of ridiculous thing that the Dems are doing. It's just ridiculous. The Democrats are idiots. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Democrat Party lost me a long time ago because, first off, they promote the stupidest things. I'm sorry, I can't get behind the Democrat Party, especially like there's not even a single inkling of a chance. There might have been a slight chance that I would vote Democrat, but after what happened, I mean, actually, I will say that after Trump was after the the assassination attempt on Trump's life, that kind of made my stance very clear. I'm not voting Democrat ever again. Ever again. I just don't think that they deserve my vote. The party is lost. The party has no real leadership, and also I don't believe in democracy. So why would I vote for Democrats? We're not a democratic nation. We're a constitutional republic. So our founding fathers hated democracy because they knew it was a bad idea. So I will never vote Democrat on principle alone. They don't match me. Because a lot of the crazies, it seems like a lot of crazies tend to vote Democrat. Now, there's always crazies on both sides, but it seems like there are disproportionately way more crazies on the left, and that's why more people are moving to center or right, or center-right. Now, me personally, I really am not a politics guy. I don't watch the news, but lately, the show has turned into a news show. And my opinion, I think it holds some ground. I've had a lot of experience in my life, and I've seen different economic down cycles. Yeah, no more murders. Just no more murders. No, it's got to stop at some point. By the way, in the poll we have 234 votes. We need more votes in the poll, by the way. So we got JD Vance for president in 2028. 43% of you say yes, 38% say no. Interesting. Pretty good. Let's see what sort of headlines are showing up. All right, so we got the latest news headlines. Like I said earlier, JD Vance hosts the Charlie Kirk show to honor his friend, and I guess they got pretty close at one point, as far as I could tell. Like I said, DNA evidence also links the suspect to the killing of Charlie Kirk. FBI director says that headline is from The Guardian. Ooh, interesting. So the BBC, we all know what that stands for in the world. I got that BBC in my mouth. Let's see. U.S. says framework for deal on future TikTok ownership. Agreed with China. The deal will pave the way to U.S. ownership of the social media platform. It's American operations, according to the U.S. Treasury Secretary. Fox Business says that 8 employers that fired staff for mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. Major companies like NASDAQ, Perkins, Coie, and Office Depot fired employees after they made inappropriate social media posts about Charlie. Yeah, I think it's wrong to celebrate somebody's death. That's just not in good taste. Now, should they have been fired for it? It is their livelihood, so it's a gray area. I mean, it's up to the employer at that point. I'm not a fan of people celebrating Charlie's death. Do I think they deserve to lose their jobs? I don't think I really have the answer to that. They're probably already miserable people and they probably need that job, so it's like, I don't want to see anybody's jobs go away, but at the same time, I mean, if you're mocking, if you really think, if you're celebrating somebody getting shot in the neck, yeah, Kyle D, there are a lot of sick, disgusting, demonic souls on this stream. Seriously, in the chat, there's a lot of sickos in this chat, and I just, people who are celebrating this man, I don't understand where they're coming from. There are just so many desensitized people. Too many desensitized people, if you ask me. How do you fix that? I think if they went on social media a little bit less, they'd probably be fine. Nope. Look it up, dude. Look up the facts about Charlie Kirk's killer. You're going to be very sad. The left, I don't know. The left is very, I don't know. There's a lot of bots in this channel, I'll tell you that. The killer sounds like the traditional Redditor, is what I heard. Which, everybody on Reddit, most people on Reddit, lean very left. So I'm eating rice and chili, as you guys can see. It's a little rice mixed in with some chili here. It pretty much is cat food. Got 7 Up zero sugar, by the way. Oh. So we're almost. Oh, we can get to 300 votes here pretty soon. Hey, you guys, make sure you guys vote in the poll, by the way. So JD Vance for president in 2028. 42% of you say yes. 39% of you say no. 9% of you say unsure, and then 10% of you say Tim Walz. Well, that's disturbing. No, I'm glad that it seems where people are kind of split on Vance 2028. I do want to see Vance as the president of the United States in 2028. I think that'd be incredible. You know, I think he's a big proponent to the MAGA movement. I really do. But I'm a huge fan of Mr. Vance. I really am. Yeah, I'm a huge fan, man. I love JD Vance. I think he's one of the best. Um, yeah, I think Vance is an incredible dude, man. If you don't like Vance, I'm sorry about that, man. My channel is primarily about pretty much just investing. I'm really big on investing. I like to encourage people to invest as much as possible, and really just to stay as diversified as they can within their portfolio. I think that's really the key. The more somebody can stay diversified within their portfolio, the better. Oh, I have to crack it sometimes because I'm trying to straighten out my back. I also used to, my previous job, I was sitting down quite a bit, and I have to sometimes pop my neck. So sorry about that. I know it's a very odd gesture. So I'll try to minimize that as much as possible. I do have some odd muscle movements. Let's just say it's probably a neurological disorder, probably some sort of level of autism. You know, that's okay. One moment though. One moment. Yeah, Vance 2028 in 2032, then Rubio 2036 and 2040. Heck yeah. I like Marco Rubio. That's the man. By the way, we got 289 votes in the poll. JD Vance for president in 2028. 43% of you say yes. 38% of you say no. 9% are kind of unsure, kind of on the fence about it. And Tim Walz, 2028. Let's see. All right, there we go. Got a lot more votes coming in. We got there was a light 3 days before the sun was made. Do you think they had generators? Zero clue. Let's see. You guys are funny though, man. Everybody's killing me in the chat. Well, I'm trying not to notice, but I'm losing all my focus in my life. In my life. Tim Walz has 9% of your votes. Whoa. We're almost at 300 votes on the poll, by the way. Keep on voting on the poll, you guys. The more I'm really curious about people's opinions. Now, if you have any questions you want answered, or you have an opinion that you want to be heard, Creative Soul, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super chat big time. Thank you, man. But if you guys do have an opinion of some kind and you want it to be heard, a super chat is one of the better ways to do it. So the more super chats we have, the better. Super chats equal sexy time. But thank you, Creative Soul. Make sure you guys subscribe to Creative Soul's YouTube channel. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I will say, even $1 super chats are very appreciated. It does really help. Yeah. Makes me feel better, brother. But yeah, if you guys want your hate, if for all the haters, if you want your comments to be read, super chats are appreciated. It's a very simple process. Raise your hand if you's a pimp, or are you a simp? I think we're dealing with a lot of simps. We ain't dealing with any pimps. Are you all just a bunch of simps? So we got 302 votes. Whoa. So we got, let's see. So JD Vance for president in 2028. 42% of you say yes. 38% say no. 10% say unsure. 10% say Tim Walz 2028. Give me the walls on my balls, dude. But let's see what other latest news headlines. Let's look up some financial news. We'll take a look at the financial space real quick. All right, so now we're going into hour 2 of the show. So hour 1, we talk about the primary subject. Hour 2, we kind of go off the walls a little bit. We start talking about other things in news, maybe some trending topics in finance. Because ultimately, we try to be a finance channel first, but we do like to talk about what is happening in the world. But if the Democrats want to be heard, what do you gotta do? You gotta give a super chat to all the Democrats. If you want to be heard, you gotta give me a super chat. You heard me. But let's see. Ooga, ooga jaga, ooga 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 jaga, ooga ooga ooga. But doing a little bit of research here in a second. We're going to kind of look up some financial topics on hour 2 of the show. Thank you all for tuning. We're almost to hour 2. I just got to get a little more food in my stomach real quick if we're going to go to hour 2. Now, if you guys have any pressing finance questions, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am an entertainer and an educator. So that's all this really is entertainment and education. If you guys just have any questions in general, make sure you pose them in a super chat. It's only like $2 to pose a question, and I will be more than happy to reply to it out loud with my mouth. To everybody on here. This is crazy, man. We got 317 votes on the poll. Please subscribe, though. We need more subscribers. JD Vance for president in 2028. 43% of you say yes. 39% of you say no. 9% say unsure. And 9% say Tim Walz, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll admit there's been a lot of insults thrown at me, but sometimes you just gotta stand your ground, speak your truth, and look, if you really, I will say that most of the chats that are on here, I don't acknowledge in any single way. Creative Soul says Walls. Thank you, Creative Soul. Creative Soul wants Walls. 80 hate for president. Let's see. Grateful Ed. But yeah, if you guys have any pressing questions, super chats are read first. I want to make that very clear. So yeah, super chats are very much read first. That's just how the show works. And you get notoriety, and I also tell people to subscribe to your channel. So. So what do you guys think? Who should be? Is there another option beside that you guys can think of? Now I know we've already mentioned JD Vance. We've already mentioned, unfortunately, Tim Walz. Say no to Walz. I think that's a bad call. But who do you guys think should be running in 2028? Who do you guys think should be president in 2028? If you have any wild card people that you want to put in there, like Tulsi Gabbard, who else do you believe? So Brandon Garcia saying Trump. Okay, cool. I dig that. I would love it if he could run for a third term, though. That'd be sick. Trump's the GOAT, dude. Woo. My stylish refrigerator, 2028. So we got a question from D Mays. Will the U.S. soy farmers get USDA bailout? That's honestly a pretty good question. That is very much a good question. Let me think about it. I don't know. I'm trying to think about how to answer that question. I'm also doing a little bit of research. To try to uncover this. Also, I'm trying to formulate my own answer in my head. So it may take a second for me to give you a good answer on this one. But hey, everybody give a shout out to D Mazzy. DEEMAYZE. Make sure you guys subscribe to D's channel. D, thank you for the $2. I'm going to answer your question here in just a few seconds, as quickly as I can. But hey, we got 335 votes. We have a lot of people coming in. 43% of you saying yes. I want to see this poll get to 1,000 votes. If you ask me, I want to see thousands of votes. It's always the goal. But thank you again for the super chat, though. Greatly appreciated, D. But yeah, if you guys have any other pressing questions, just like D did, super chats will allow me to answer. This is the hour of the show where we pretty much just do super chats. D Mays says Brian Kemp for POTUS in 2028. Heck yeah. I don't know who Brian Kemp is, to be honest, but you know, if that's somebody you believe in, very cool. Trying to adjust something real quick, you guys. Sorry about that. All right, so 342 votes. Yeah, this is exciting, you guys. We got a lot of votes in. All right, so overall, I mean, some of the research I could say, the short answer would be to your question, D, that it's honestly not yet decided, from what I could tell. The USDA does say it's evaluating more economic aid for farmers this fall, given stalled soybean purchases, depressed prices, and high input costs. No new payouts have been announced yet, so that's something to keep in mind. There is money already flowing for the 2024 crop year via USDA's Emergency Commodity Assistance Program, which covers major row crops, including soy. USDA announced up to $10 billion in March and reported $7.8 billion paid by July. If you grow soybeans and filed acreage reports with FSA, you may already be eligible or / paid under ECAP. So something to keep in mind. Another thing that I found in my research is the push for new relief is tied to China largely skipping U.S. soybeans for this season, which is a big hit to farm revenue. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, another factor would be whether an additional bailout happens. Could also depend on Congress, CCC authority in the 2025 Farm Bill, which some advocates say may constrain USDA's flexibility. Interesting. So we got 348 votes. Holy smokes, man. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Dang. That's cool. Now, if you want your chat to be seen, Creative Soul, I want to say, Creative Soul says, I can see your enthusiasm for trying to make this feed work. I respect that. Thank you. And look, I wanted to do a show where I'm standing up. There's not many shows where somebody does an actual stand-up show. Normally they're sitting in a chair, but honestly, it's good for my legs. It helps me out. I can do research. I got a standing desk. For the most part. Yeah, I see a lot of hate spewing in this channel. Not in the channel, the chat room. I think I've actually been pretty calm. Yeah, I just don't see any real reason to ban anybody, you know? I respect everybody's freedom to express themselves, even if I think it's repugnant and disgusting the way you express yourself. So yeah, I do respect free speech, ultimately. So, you know, say what you want in the chat. Totally your call. Probably won't agree with it, but totally your call. Yeah, so I see no reason to moderate my chat. And if the people really want their chat to be heard, honestly, drop me a couple bucks, and that's pretty much it. You get notoriety. I talk about what you're talking about, and I answer honestly. The whole goal is to answer honestly. There's so many chatters that come in, and it's tough for me to answer the questions that come in because there's so many. So the only way I can really answer the questions is through Super Chat. So it's the easiest way to do it. Tasty. Thank you, bud. But this is the super chat hour, by the way, so I do refrain from. I try to refrain from answering questions that aren't super chats. So if you do want your questions, if you feel like you have a very important question or just have a comment and you want me to acknowledge it, super chats are honestly the way to go. Now we're going to go into the finance hour. I mean, we're already kind of in that hour anyway, so we're talking about finance now. I want to talk about a couple topics. So obviously you know that I'm an avid investor. That's pretty much what this channel is all about. We're really all about investing and, you know, trying to encourage people to do the right stuff. Sorry, folks, checking a couple things real quick. Wow, we're already at 5,214 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel, by the way. The more subscribers we get, the better. So if you can, take the time to hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it here on the channel. More subscribers, the more we can get this show out to everybody. So I greatly appreciate it. And if you can't subscribe to the channel, feel free to drop a like. I think you just have to double tap on the screen to give a like. So however you give a like on these live videos, please give me a like. It does help the channel grow. It helps the channel get noticed. So more likes, the better. Checking a couple things. One moment. We're all living a reality show, and everyone is always acting low, and all our lives in stereo, 'cause we're all living a reality show. You gotta give your boy super chats. You want your financial questions answered? Or do you want general questions answered? I'm not a financial advisor. Hell no. But talk to one. Hawks won, baby. Go Hawks. Go Seahawks, baby. Woo! I am a Seattle Seahawks fan for sure. So some latest financial news headlines. We're just going to go over it real quick. So some of the markets, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ hit fresh record highs ahead of this week's Fed decision as the U.S. dollar eased. Risk appetite is firm into the meeting. So that's interesting, man. Nice. So now there's also lowering interest rates. Also, it makes money cheaper, obviously, to borrow, but there is a drawback. There's inflation. So the U.S. CPI data of August, which I usually don't believe the CPI data. I think it's severely inaccurate most of the time, and I feel like they cook the books. It's my belief that they cook the books on these numbers. Came in at plus 0.4%. Headline plus 2.9% year to year. Core 3.1% year to year. Keeping the cut versus hold debate alive for the Fed. It's also funding market. So U.S. banks tapped into the Fed's standing repo facility heavily today. Records flagged, reflecting temporary tax settlement date, liquidity pressure, not systemic stress. There's also gold, spot gold printed an all-time high as yields in the dollar softened into the Fed. There's also oil. We're talking about commodities right now. Brent is hovering $67 after Ukrainian drone strikes on Russian energy facilities. Lifted the supply risk premia. Flows. Global equity funds saw outflows last week as investors booked profits near records. Meanwhile, Bitcoin/Ethereum ETFs drew chunky net inflows as traders bet on Fed easing. So we're just kind of reading the latest headlines, the latest finance news headlines. This is kind of what hour 2 is usually about. So central banks, it's central bank week. Fed is in focus. ECB held rates last week, in BOJ seen steady near term with a Q4 hike, still in consensus. So let's see. Sovereign/EM Mexico launched up to $5 billion in multi-tranche bonds to help fund a Pemex debt buyback, a notable EM credit move. Interesting. There's also Macro Watch. The BIS cautioned about growing disconnect between debt and equity markets, a risk narrative to watch if volatility returns. Interesting. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, those are the latest headlines for the moment in the world of finance. I mean, what does it all mean? Truth be told, I don't really care about rate cuts or rate hikes. My goal is to be consistently invested into the markets, be diversified, have my assets pay me. My ETFs that I have, my individual holdings, they need to pay me. So I do have a lot of REITs. I have a lot of exchange-traded funds. I'm very exposed in the markets. That's just how my portfolio is. Stay diversified as much as possible is really the key at the end of the day for me. But a few other things I want to mention. So, obviously, we're going to see the stock market go up. In fact, if I check, probably going to see the stock market go really up, because, surprisingly, Bitcoin was down. I mean, for me personally, I don't believe that's shocking at all, because Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. But checking some of the data on Robinhood real quick. Cause we're all living a reality show, and everyone is always acting low, and all our lives in stereo. Cause we're all living a reality show. Well, I'm trying not to notice, but I'm losing all my focus in my life. So I'm playing around with the S-bit just a bit. Let's see. Crazy, man. Yeah. The Vanguard Total World Index is up 0.53%. International stocks are up. Everything's up, man. I mean, honestly, if it's easy to borrow money, people are going to put it into assets like stocks, because stocks are really inflation proof. And honestly, if you're smart, that's kind of a good thing to do. Me personally, though, I just remain diversified. I got bonds, I got international stocks, I got U.S. stocks, and I'm exposed to every single market you could ever imagine. So that's the best way to do it, man. Stay spread out. Don't over leverage yourself, but you do want to use a little bit of leverage. I think it's always a good thing. One company that I'm glad I hold is Realty Income, though. They've always been really good. I love the monthly dividend factor. I think that's the best part about it. But, I hold on to a lot of different real estate investment trusts. Real estate investment trusts, I could do an entire segment on those. You'd be surprised. This is no question. But yeah, we got 384 votes. Woo! Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel out quite a bit. In fact, I'm going to try to encourage a little bit of subscriptions here. But yeah, more subscribers, the better. We're just trying to really expand the reach of the channel, trying to get it a little more popular with the masses. And the more people we have subscribed, it really points the algorithm towards more people out there on the internets. So we're really trying to reach. If our arms are reaching out, if our words could only bridge the down, will we lose this chance again? Yeah, strange roads with different signs, don't even know where we divide. Are you my enemy or my friend? 'Cause I don't know you and you don't know me. It's the same sunrise and we all just look to the sky. If we try, we can work it out somehow. If I don't know you and you don't know me, how can we be fighting? We're all connected, it's true. Reaching out, it's only love that pulls us through. Creative Soul says, "Oh hell no." Alan Bayless says, "I'm blind now." So so we're trying to talk a little more, Vance in my pants, walls in my balls sort of thing. So we got 391 votes. 391 votes in the poll. We need more votes in the poll, though, by the way. So the more, the merrier, as I always say. I got some nice moves. What can I say? I got a good rack, dude. I look good. I'm a good looking man. See what else we got. So overall, though, I guess what we really want to talk about is, remain diversified, spread out your risk. Smartest thing you can do, ultimately. But I hope everybody's doing good. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. The more simps we get, the better. We need more subs. Give me them subs, baby. Look at this beautiful body. Oh. So I know that I am an Adonis. I've got Adonis DNA. I understand. Go easy on me, bro. Go easy on me. My brony brothers. Dude, if you gave me $500, I would absolutely I would do a mile. I don't know if I could run it. My version of running is like a slow jog. But no, I really do enjoy running. That's actually it's a fun thing for me. Surprisingly, I'm a little bit of a chubby boy though. I am cutting some weight as best as I can. It's tough being ginger, sure. Yeah. It's a tough life. It's not easy being a ginger. I'll agree with that. So we got 401 votes on this poll. Please subscribe. JD Vance for President 2028. 44% of you said yes. Hell yeah. 39% of you said no. Okay, fair. 8% said unsure. All right. Fair enough. I ain't putting the fort down. Hell no. Too many people. I mean, I think if we're all being honest, I think we're all big fans of Tim Walz. Tim Walz. I would rather have Vance in my pants than Walz on my balls. That's the way I see it. Um, so overall, I mean, one of the big things for me when it comes to investing is I love exchange traded funds. Like, give me just a few moments, actually. Yeah, even if you guys gave me super chats, I would not use it for a gym membership. Not in the slightest. Hell no. Cause I'm a fat boy for life. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. Cause we Diddy boys for life. We Diddy. Diddy. P. Diddy, dude. Mm. Cause we bad boys for life. Oh. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Oh. Now, if you guys have any pressing questions, though, that you want answered or you have any requests, throw them in a super chat. I'll see what I can do. That's a good question. Who can say where the road goes? Where the day? Only time. If you guys want an answer to your pressing questions, it's got to be in the form of super chat. I don't understand. I don't know how to read regular chats because I don't understand regular chat language. I understand super chats though. Baby oil, dude, look at that. Baby oil. They took all my baby, baby, baby oil, my baby, baby, baby oil, my baby, baby, baby oil. The oil, it wasn't mine. Oh. So we're going to go over the benefits of exchange traded funds. Just a few facts, just overall, just for the stream. You know, first off, I will say this: there is instant diversification. One share can spread your money across hundreds to thousands of securities built in. There's like built-in risk spreading, which is good. So you're lowering the risk the more you diversify. But the beauty is you can, through an exchange traded fund, you can get exposure to all of those companies without the risk of, or I should say, without the cost basis of having to buy at least one share of every company. So for instance, if you get into an S&P 500 ETF like the VOO, you're going to have the exposure to those 500 companies without having to pay an arm and a leg to buy all 500, if that makes sense. So I love S&P 500 ETFs. I love international stock ETFs as well, because it can be a real pain in the rump to get a hold of certain types of certain types of international companies. It can be really tough to find. So the best thing you could really do from time to time is just go to town on it. But yeah, what happened to Charlie, man, is disgusting and wrong. It's crazy, dude. Absolutely, man. Justice for Charlie. Now, I will say another thing about ETFs is they have usually lower fees. So, for example, broad plain vanilla, and when I say plain vanilla, you know what I'm talking about. Plain vanilla ETFs often charge a fraction of what active funds do, leaving more return in your pocket, which is a big deal. Another thing is there's strong tax efficiency that goes along with it. Most stock ETFs use in-kind creation redemption, which helps minimize capital gains distribution versus mutual funds. Give me 1 second. So we got 440 votes. The more votes we have, the better. I love these polls, by the way. So JD Vance for president in 2028, 43% of you say yes, 40% say no, 8% say unsure, and then 9% say Tim Walz 2028. And then there's also strong tax efficiency. I will say most stock ETFs use in-kind creation / redemption, which helps minimize capital gains distributions versus mutual funds. I always like to have these facts listed just because I like to encourage people to have a wide array of different ETFs in their portfolio. Another thing is daily. There's also daily transparency. So most ETFs publish full holdings every trading day. So you always know what you own. It's a big deal. Which is great, man, because you at least know what is in the fund itself. And if you get bored, you could even try to mimic the fund by buying at least a share of as many of the companies in there as possible. I really do enjoy owning individual stocks as well. So I have a mixture of ETFs and I have a mixture of individual stocks that I own. Mainly because there's a lot of real estate investment trusts that I like to get exposed to, but I really don't enjoy buying the real estate investment trust ETFs because a lot of them actually have higher expense ratios for some reason, which makes zero sense since they're index ones and they're not actively traded. So I do tend to stay away from the REIT ETFs, but I do buy individual REITs. Not financial advice. This is what I do personally. Let's see. Let's see. It also, by the way, it trades like a stock. So you could buy and sell it, the ETF, each share, intraday if you really wanted to. You could use limit orders. You could set stop levels, and even access options on many of the tickers, which is pretty neat, man. It's pretty cool, if you ask me. So we got 458 votes on the poll. Heck yeah. JD Vance for president 2028. 42% of you say yes. Heck yeah. 41% say no. 8% say unsure. Tim Walz 2028. 9%. Heck yeah. There's also a T+1 settlement. Sales generally settle the next business day, speeding up access to cash compared with the old T+2 regimen. There's also no investment minimums aside from the share price, and many brokers offer fractional shares. There's no fund minimum. So really, you can have one share, you can have fractional shares. I'm not a big fan of fractional shares. I used to be when they originally came out, and I thought, no, it's better to at least own, it's just better to own the whole share, no whole share / partial. I think it's just good to own 1, 2, 3, however many. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of fractional shares at this point in my life. I don't believe in it. So. So if you guys have any pressing questions about me or Charlie Kirk or JD Vance or anything really going on, even economics, super chats do get answered first. Super chats are paid attention to. So at this time, I'm only paying attention to the super chats in this hour. So. We do have 472 votes, though, which is really cool. Really kind of a neck and neck race, though, between yes and no. 42% edge on yes. It's slightly edging the no, which is 41% at the moment. But I'll tell you guys what. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to put my shirt back on. You guys okay with that? Okay. Are you guys sure you're okay with that? You guys satisfied? Hmm? All right, I got my shirt back on. You happy? But yeah, so we're almost at 500 votes for this poll. JD Vance for president in 2028. 42% of you say yes. 41% of you say no. You guys, if for all the haters in the chat, if you want me to read your message, put it in the form of a super chat, okay? Thank you. Please don't make me beg now. Please don't make me beg. Please don't make me beg. I can't do it. Oh. Oh. Please don't make me beg now. Please don't make me beg now. Please don't make me beg. I'm too sexy for your party. Too sexy for your party. The way I'm disco dancing. I'm a model, you know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the catwalk. On the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk, yeah. I shake my little tush on the catwalk. I'm too sexy for your party. Too sexy for your party. Let's see. So yeah, we're at 5,221 subscribers. This is crazy, man. I just want to thank everybody who's been a part of this journey. Our channel's growing at a massive rate. So it's crazy how many subscribers we're getting, man. We're growing at far faster than I anticipated. I think it's because I look like I'm related to Charlie Kirk. So I think we have the same facial structure. So people want to see my milkers again? What? Nah, Jesus. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we have, the better. We're trying to reach 10,000. Before the end of the month, we're trying to actually reach 10,000 subscribers. So the more subscribers we have, the better. More we can simp out to the audience. So it helps out. But yeah, the poll is getting really, really close. Yeah, so we got 513 votes on the poll. 42% say yes, 41% say no, 8% are unsure, 9% say Tim Walz. Hell yeah. Walls on my balls, baby. Oh, Dog Eat Dog is asking how I'm doing. Doing pretty good, Dog Eat Dog. How you doing, brother? It's my boy over there. My boy. We both dogs. Oh, hashtag real Garza president 2028. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree, man. Charlie inspired me, man. That's why I'm doing my show the way I'm doing it. I'm doing it as much as possible. And I'm annoying the libs. What can I say? I'm annoying the libs. Oh, boy. We gotta do what we gotta do. But yeah, overall, I will say this. With JD Vance talking about how he wants to be a better father and everything and a better husband, that inspired me, man. I want to be, I want to be better for my girlfriend. I want to be just more competent, more just better and as much as possible. JFam says, haha, just scrolling. How's it going? Is this JFam? I feel like I know who this is. It just says J_fam, so I'm actually not entirely too sure who this is. What's your first name, man? Chris from school. Which Chris we talking about, by the way? Chris G. Refresh me who you are. I knew a couple people named Chris, but I want to know that you're actually a real person that actually went to school with me. J-Man. J-Man, do we know each other in real life? Chris G, same math class, but more specifically, what school did we go to? If you went to school with me, you'll be able to answer that question. What school did we go to together, Chris? I just want to make sure this is the same Chris overall. If it's the same Chris, I think it is. If not, then whatever. But yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm famous by any means, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting mocked all over the internet, and that's always fun. I enjoy the mockery, man. Look. I'm easier to hate than love, so I've accepted that. I'm very opinionated, so I stand up for what I believe in to the best of my ability. I don't like to cave to the mob. I don't like to apologize to the mob either. If the mob tells me to apologize, I refuse completely. Yeah, I don't think this. Which school did we go to, Chris? If you're saying that we went to the same math class together, which school did we go to together? Hmm? And what is your last name? What would be your last name? Yeah, Chris person's a fake. Pretending like they know me. I make a good amount. One moment. I'm eating Mott's fruits. No, we're not really political on this channel. We try not to be. We do like to talk. I do talk about the MAGA movement every now and then. And recently started talking more about Charlie Kirk and. Yep. That's pretty much what this is about, man. I'm going to sit down for a second. Oh. Did it. Just give me a few seconds, everybody. If you guys have any pressing questions, just make sure that you guys put it in the form of a super chat. So we got 556 votes. JD Vance for president in 2028. 42% say yes. Let's see. 40% say no. There we go. But yeah, we got 562 votes. JD Vance for president in 2028. 43% of you say yes. 40% say no. So it looks like JD Vance is inching over, which is good. By the way, I love JD. Oh. All right, I'm going to read your guys' comments. I'm going to sit down for a bit, but I am going to read the comments real fast here. I want to say that I do appreciate all the super chats, you guys. You guys are helping the channel grow at a very high rate. Let's see. But I get to buy more baby oil. So if you super chats allow me to buy baby oil, you guys, thank you, appreciate it. I'm just sitting down for a second, giving my knees a rest. But yeah, while I'm giving my knees a rest, if you guys do give a super chat, if you guys do give a super chat, I will read it. I'll acknowledge it. I'll promote you. I'll do what I can. I just appreciate the any simpage. I love simps. Oh, but yeah, overall, it's like. We're definitely living in an interesting times for sure, and Charlie's going to be missed. That's a fact. I think he was a net positive for this world. He was a good person. I think it is cool that he got, the vice president hosted the show in his honor. I think that's a huge, huge honor, man. And yeah, Charlie Kirk was definitely instrumental in getting Trump elected, for sure. I'm actually checking a couple statistics, you guys, real quick. Hold on. Mic mode. And everyone is always acting low. Just a few more moments, you guys. Just checking a couple things here. Man, there's a lot of, in the chat. It is really disturbing to see the level of just terrible people in the chat. Just shocking. My goodness. But I do hope that people can find it within their souls not to be so heartless. But that might be a big ask for some of you guys. We got Michael Donaldson in the house. Dude, I haven't seen you in a while, Mr. Donaldson. Going really well, brother. Going real well. But yeah, it's I'm still pretty saddened by all this. I still don't know what to think at the end of the day, man. This is weird. But I saw Mr. Donaldson in the chat, and really happy to see it's going really well, Mr. Donaldson. But how are you doing, my man? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well, man. We all love Michael Donaldson on this channel. Hell yeah. Michael Donaldson said I'm pretty pissed off about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. It got me really upset. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm pretty peeved off too, brother. It's beyond messed up, and I just don't know how to. I guess I just don't know what to say at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's just too. The whole thing is just too cruel. You know what I mean? It was just too cruel for it to happen. It sucks. But yeah, dude, I've been pretty upset for the last few days as well. It's just, it's such a cowardly act what happened to him. What, sorry, not what happened to him. What I'm saying is it was a cowardly act for what the shooter did. And there's a lot of people very pissed about this. Um, and I can't really blame anybody for being pissed. You know? Absolutely a coward did this, without a doubt. It's upsetting, man. It's honestly beyond upsetting. It's tough to think about, man. But you know, at the end of the day, like all we can really do is just try our best to kind of live the way he did. You know, Charlie actually lived a pretty moral life, from what I could tell. Did he have some viewpoints that were maybe a little harsh? Yeah, I could definitely see that. How people could see that, you know. He had some harsh critiques about the world, and yeah, he was martyred though. He was martyred. So it's an unfortunate thing, man. We love you, Charlie. You know, we miss you. You know, the world did lose a good person. But lost a very good person. All right, you guys, we're gonna end the poll. We're gonna end it. I think we got enough data. We got about 597 votes. So JD Vance for president in 2028. 43% of you say no. 40%, sorry, 43% of you say yes. 40% say no. Tim Walz 2028, 9%. Unsure 8%. So that's the ranking of it all. And yeah, it's wild, man. Wow. Yeah, there's a Michael Donaldson is saying, Garza, you need to start blocking some of these effing disrespectful idiots. Yeah, I absolutely. I should, but you know what? I want them. Here's the thing: these disrespectful idiots. I want them to be heard because it exposes them for who they are. If we start censoring them, even if they're being jerks, we're no better than they are. I'm not going to censor them. I do believe in free speech, even if these people are idiots. Um, I want to let them keep saying whatever they want. All right, let's see here. So YouTube chat service. That sounds scammy. Let's look it up in the scamometer. So we're gonna measure the level of scametry. There's a lot of scammers that get on these chats, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really care. I think it's a scam, to be honest. So Michael Donaldson says, "I'm surprised you're live right now. Did you finally quit your crap job?" Actually, I got fired from the job, so I got fired from it. But thank goodness I did, because honestly, it was pretty rough. Um, Yeah, no, and honestly, I'm making more money. I'm making more money on YouTube, and I'm making more money on DoorDash. So the truth is, I'm actually doing much better since I've been away from that job. My mental health has returned. I feel healthier. Um, yeah, T Tech was bad news, man. T Tech was very much bad news, and they treated me like garbage, and I was not for it, man. So it's I'm glad they fired me. In short, it's a good thing. So had to escape, man. But I mean, I was good at the job. The problem was my management team. My management team was harassing me in no short terms. You know, the more I reflect on it, the more I realize, damn, they were terrible to me. They made me feel awful. So, not a good company to work for. Like I said, glad to be out of there. Um, it was the right thing to do. Right time to leave. Sorry, I'm sitting down at the moment. Let me see if I can up the chair a little bit so you guys can kind of see me. Yeah, so be sitting down for a little bit. But yeah, no, it's great because I get to do this. I get to do this show full time, and I get to do DoorDash part time, which is really cool, really fun. because I've been wanting to do this show more often full time, and yeah, sideburns are a little crazy. My sideburns. YouTube chat service. Did someone on DoorDash order 2 eyebrows? uh, that's actually pretty funny. Yeah, I definitely. Michael Donaldson is correct. I definitely have the Spock sideburns right here, for sure. Um, yeah, so I think for the rest of this, I am doing more of a sit-down show. Yeah, I'm gonna lower. Doing a couple of things here. Hold on. Yeah, I need to sit down for a bit. Yeah, I wouldn't say I injured myself per se. I was playing basketball yesterday, and just one of those types of days where the way I was playing a little harder than usual. I was moving around, but I mean, I'm feeling good. I'm losing weight, which is nice, but at the same time, it's like I need to take a quick little breather from standing up. Try not to sit down for too long because I really don't want to sit down that long. But yeah, so for the moment, even though I got a lot of money backing me up, I'm still kind of, living off the Dollar Tree, for example. I don't need to, really, but at the same time, I kind of should. It's just the smart thing for me to do. Trying not to spend too much money, for example, and just really being smart with all my money. But yeah, also just kind of requesting super chats and things like that, which are pretty fun to request overall. I have a good time doing this. So the only time I'll show my refrigerator is if people. So certain requests I'll try to abide by through a super chat. Super chat's the best way to do it, but yeah, the place was definitely not a good place. Hold on, yeah, pull up a couple things. So let's see. YouTube chat service says it's good that you saved on buying a decent kitchen too. Let's see. Show us the fridge. Show us inside your refrigerator, fool, or I'm going. I don't really care. Mathematics, go away. No, I'm not donating money to see the inside of your fridge. All right, your loss. But yeah, I'm really happy to see like Michael Donaldson on here and just a lot of the really cool people. So take a look at the chat here. Just taking a look at the chat on the laptop real quick. Let's see, Michael Donaldson says, I've been busy finishing my house. Still not done, but getting close. Heck yeah. But yeah, if you guys want your, I'll read Michael Donaldson's because he's been on this channel for a while. So no matter what, I read Michael Donaldson's messages for sure. But to everybody who's new here, we do, to the new people or just people who are kind of casual, if you really want your pressing, let's see. We'll do one more pull here. Probably one more pull. Give me one more moment. Give me another moment, you guys. Sorry about that. Oh, Michael Donaldson became a member. Thank you, Mr. Donaldson. Welcome to the fun exclusive content. I am going to be trying to make more exclusive content, by the way, so I appreciate the membership, brother. Thank you. Let's see. All right, so we got a good pull going on here. Please subscribe. What do you identify as? This is a big question here. You were making too many ads. Yeah, well, I appreciate, dude. I really do appreciate the membership, my man. The more memberships we have, we better. The more memberships we have, the better. We got 3 votes. Please subscribe. What do you identify as? Pimp or simp? 67% of you say simp, and then 33% say pimp. So we're gonna probably just do like 30 more minutes of the show unless we get really a lot of involvement here. Michael Donaldson says never simp. No, Michael Donaldson's a pimp. Let's see. Carl says Vance eats J-Sim. I don't know what that means. What are you talking about, brother? Sometimes you guys get confusing on here. Oh yeah, yeah. Can't escape him, Mr. Donaldson. Sometimes you just can't escape the libs. It's an unfortunate reality. But yeah, once again, thank you, Mr. Donaldson, for becoming a channel member. Super cool, and you get the accolades, which is pretty dope. Michael Donaldson says it's a midday and none of them have a job, so of course they're on here. Hey, I mean, technically, I am technically unemployed. I do DoorDash and I do YouTube lives at this point, which honestly I really do enjoy doing the YouTube lives. I get ad revenue and stuff, so it helps in many ways, shockingly. And we're getting a lot more people showing up on here, so it's kind of cool. So make sure you guys vote in the poll. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. Subscribe. Let's see. Carl says, yeah, it's good for him, and you don't have to give an S, and he's the only one. Heck yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Whatever. A Michael Donaldson membership is a good membership. That's all I gotta say. So you got 10 votes. Okay. All right. Michael Donaldson says Garza is diversified. No worries. That is true. I mean, I do have a very diversified portfolio. That honestly helps keep me afloat quite a bit. And then I'm constantly invested, man. Always. I'm looking at a Rob Schneider. My boy Antoine sent me a message here.
Take this show tonight to Charlie Kirk.
Michael Donaldson says, well, unlike the libs, I need to get back to work later. Garza, later, Mr. Donaldson. All right, 67% of you say that you're a pimp. You identify as a pimp, and 33% identify as a simp. Oh.
And it's worth fighting for. It's worth defending with all your heart. Because we've been able to live our lives in the freest country in the history of the world. But what we need to fight for is our children, our grandchildren. And that's what Charlie was thinking. Never seen anybody get so much more out of life in 31 years. Charlie Kirk.
Heck yeah, man. Competition eating? Hell yeah. I'm down for that. Why wouldn't I be? So, take out the mega trash says, was Epstein technically a pimp? Depends on what your definition of a pimp is, man. Well, 71% of you identify as a pimp, and 29% identify as a simp. Got 14 votes on the poll. Hey guys, make sure you vote on the poll. By the way, are you a pimp or are you a simp? What are you? Let's see. Yeah, poll is looking good. Carl asked, "What time is it? What if I don't use labels?" I mean, that's up to you. Then you're neither. You don't need to vote in the poll. If you ain't a pimp or you ain't a simp, that's okay, man. That's okay. I am going to be taking the show on the road today. I will probably be down at Mingus for just a little bit. I don't know. I do want to get some sunshine today, so I'll most likely be going out and about. This poll's just for fun, overall. It's pretty much how it rolls. It's a good poll. But yeah, a couple other things I want to talk about. Give me a few more moments as far as like ETF like benefits and stuff like that. We're talking about that for a little bit. I will say the ETFs are the playlist of investing. You pick the theme, press play, and you instantly own the whole set. The magic tax trick, though, in kind trades with market makers, that's why that's why many stock ETFs rarely kick you capital gains taxes, which is really cool. Another thing is I could get global stocks, U.S. Treasuries, real estate, and commodities all before lunch with four ticker symbols. So I can get diversification at a very low cost and keep on stacking that diversification as I get more money. So investing in ETFs, exchange traded funds, is a huge advantage. And if you have a brokerage account, which I prefer brokerage accounts, I understand there are tax advantaged accounts like IRAs and stuff. I just prefer having absolute control of my destiny when it comes to investing, so I do forego a little bit of tax benefit for sure. But overall, I'm a buy and hold investor. I don't ever sell. Except now, another thing I could probably do is use limit orders on like thinly traded or niche ETFs, kind of to control the execution of the process. I think is an interesting thing. There's a few other possibilities that could go into this. I could watch expense ratios, bid ask spreads, tracking and like tracking differences and stuff like that. Low fee, tight spread, low tracking error is a sweet spot, really. Um, sure. All right. So I think I'm done sitting down. Probably gonna take my show on the road and see what happens. You guys think I should? I got strawberry blonde hair. So, but I do want to thank you guys for taking the time to view this. Oh, I'm a little bit tired at the moment, but keep the show going. All right, you guys, before I head out, I'm going to do another live stream, probably outdoors or something. Do you guys have any super chats that you want to contribute at the moment? Any super chats at all? Going once. Going twice. Oh, also, we're going to end the poll. Boop. So 62% of you identify as a pimp. Heck yeah. But I do want to thank Michael Donaldson for becoming a member. I know he's a member before, but I think he accidentally. I'm glad he's back as a member, though, dude. We need good men like Michael Donaldson. Let's see. Means we got 4 channel members, by the way. Heck yeah. No, don't worry. I'm doing good. I am doing good. I'm in actually a very good place at the moment. Trust me, I'm doing. You guys, don't worry. I'm doing okay. Dottie, I appreciate you. I've been doing DoorDash. I've been doing this. Surprisingly doing well for now. But I am still trying to make sure that I get super chats every time I do one of these lives, things like that. They do help, for sure. But just a little tired at the moment, you guys. Sorry. Okay. So we got the first president of the United States, which George Washington, back to calling me Garza again. Oh my goodness. Mr. Garza. All right. Anyway, catch you guys later. Any super chats though, I definitely appreciate it. It does help. But yeah, overall, we try to keep the channel going. It also gives you some recognition, or become a channel member. Channel member only 99 cents a month, so that's pretty dope. Keep that in mind. But I do want to thank you guys for just being so patient, being on here, and have an incredible rest of the night, you guys. Later. I'm not gonna I'm gonna be doing another show here in a bit, but just again, thank you. Bye, guys. Outro, Romy.